Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is able to hear me and everyone is able to see my screen. If possible, can someone please confirm if you are able to hear me clearly and able to see my screen? Guys, can someone please confirm if you are able to hear me clearly and able to see my screen? Yes, sir. Thank you. So, what we discussed in yesterday, we discussed about a workflow configuration. What this workflow configuration is going to do, that is, it is going to create a workflow with the name is a payment processing name, which is a fan out in case of RabbitMQ, which is for broadcast, where we binded our four queues, stock queue, email queue, SMS queue, as well as shipment queue. We binded all these queues, stock queue, email queue, SMS queue, and shipment queue. And all these queues are binded to my workflow. So if any message comes to this workflow, it will automatically broadcast the message to these queues. Okay. So what I have done here, we created the queues, we created an exchange of broadcasting exchange, and we moved all the queues to that particular broadcasting exchange. We moved all these things to broadcasting exchange. After that, we created a order service here, our front end service here. What is that it is going to have here? Just it will connect it to RabbitMQ, our configuration, whatever the RabbitMQ, because it is my event here. It will read this particular configuration. It will connect to RabbitMQ here. It will read the configuration and it is going to connect to RabbitMQ here. And after that, just like it should tell that any message should go to JSON and it is going to listen to that particular queue. This is a small sample code every microservice should have from RabbitMQ point of view. And we have a order placeholder, a DTO class. An order placeholder like order ID, email ID, product ID, mobile number, shipment, shipment status, zip code, whatever it may. This is the things here. And the beauty of this particular RabbitMQ is we will never mention the queue name. While sending the message, we'll never mention the queue name. AMQP template is our connection object to RabbitMQ. It's a RabbitMQ connection object. Okay. So AMQP template, which is already having connectivity to RabbitMQ, that connection is made by the Spring Boot, and AMQP template dot convert and send. This is the API given from RabbitMQ. I'm telling that this order object I'm sending only to this exchange. We are not mentioning any queue name. This is the beauty here. Same will not work with Kafka. Kafka is different. RabbitMQ is different here. I will only mention the top level broadcasting carrier, and I'll send the message to this carrier, and it will send all the message to respective microservices here. Okay. Once this is the event for me. Once order service sends the data, order service role is over, which is loosely coupled. Okay, I will send the data to RabbitMQ and RabbitMQ will take care. I don't care. I don't have any things with respect to order service. I don't have no logic at all. I mean, my responsibility is once the payment is completed, I need to push the data. I need to push the data to the queue. That's it. My order service is that. That's what I mentioned, right? To achieve a loosely coupled architecture, I don't want to write calling explicitly stock service, calling explicitly email service, calling explicitly SMS service, calling explicitly shipment service. My only responsibility is I'll send the data to the queue, but not queue name also I'll not mention. I'll send the workflow name and the workflow will internally talk to or internally creates the data to the services. The workflow will take care of here. Okay. The typically workflow is going to take care of here. right? After that, once the data is placed into the queue, I created the 4 other services: stock service, SMS service, shipment service, email service. They will listen to that particular queue. It's a Rabbit provider. We have a different queues, and we have a listener to the queue. We have a typically listener to the queue here. Okay. If you go to stock service, and the same Java code I have, which will only connect to RabbitMQ, the same code. This is a code which will connect to RabbitMQ, and this is a configuration for RabbitMQ. Same how order service is there, same way configuration for RabbitMQ. Okay. Now here I have a Rabbit listener. This is a annotation which is going to monitor stock queue. Whatever the queue name I wrote here, right, sir? The same name. What are the queue name I wrote here? The same name I should be taking care of here. Okay, stock queue. The following annotation will be used to listen to stock queue. If any new message comes to stock queue, then this annotation will pick the data, and Rabbit handler is going to convert, because I'm giving a JSON object, right, guys? In the queue, I have a JSON object, right? Rabbit handler is going to convert the JSON into Java. Rabbit handler will convert the JSON into Java object, and I'll write a logic here. My stock service logic, like updating the inventory, whatever the things I'm going to write here. This is what so far I explained in the yesterday's class, guys. Okay. Before I proceed further, any questions, anyone so far? Anyone has any questions on understanding anything here so far? Vinod,
Yeah, I am good, sir.
Deb, is this guy is not there? Deb, yeah, is not there. Chaitanya, are you comfortable? Ansari, Deb. Okay, these people didn't join. Okay. As of now, any questions from anyone, guys? Dialer, I hope you're clear, comfortable. Again, there is a problem at your headset, sir. Please change, sir. Again, there is a problem at your headset. We are not able to hear anything. Online class means, but just make sure that your internet and your headset should be okay. We are not able to hear dialer. Yeah. Now, same way I wrote a logic here. Same way I wrote a logic here in SMS service here. Like I wrote a configuration. This is a configuration, and the main code which connects to RabbitMQ. This is a code will create a Rabbit template object, and I have a Rabbit listener which listen to SMS queue now. Rabbit listener, I'll write SMS queue here. Rabbit handler will convert that order JSON object, and it is going to tell, just like I will write a code here, that order mobile number. Every order have a mobile number, right? I'll get that order mobile number. I will write a logic here. Do some processing for SMS. Here, we will write the code for SMS. That's it. That's the SMS queue. As long as message comes here, and this code will execute, and message will be sent to automatically. But order service is not called directly, guys, here. Order service is not called directly. Order service put the data into the queue, that itself is an event, and stock SMS service is going to listen to that event. SMS service is going to listen to that event, and it is going to process it. Okay. In the same way, shipment service, same code. and here shipment queue. Successfully started shipment service for the order ID and customer zip code. I mean, shipment means we need to start the shipment, right? With customer zip code or a pin code, whatever it may be. Based on that, it will should start it. After that, email service. Email queue. Successfully sent an email to customer for the order ID for the email ID. And we'll write a code here, email processing code here. We'll write code for sending email to customer. Okay. So that's all where we created, guys. Let me repeat here on a high level point of view. Workflow will create all the queues and will establish the workflow system with all the queues. And any message comes, it will convert into JSON and it is having the infrastructure ready. That's the independent microservice. After that, order service is a front end service, I can say that, which is going to send a message to workflow. Order service will communicate with workflow. Order service will communicate with workflow, and this workflow will push the data to the queue here. This workflow will push the data to the queue here, and it will process accordingly. After that, once the data comes into the queue, automatically stock service, SMS service, shipment service, email service, they will be parallelly takes that event from the queue and they will process. They'll parallelly take the data from the queue and they'll process. This is the complete workflow. Okay. Can we see the execution, guys? Can we see execution or any specific questions from anyone as of now? Can we see execution, guys? I think Ansari, you joined just now. Maybe I thought I just now read, asked your name. Are you comfortable? Everyone is comfortable, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Vishwa. Ansari, I'm talking to you. I asked your name just now.
As
Yeah,
of
you
now,
are.
I'm fine, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. Yeah. If possible, can you join a little bit early, sir? If possible. Okay. Right. Thank you. Right. Now here, I'm going to start the workflow. Yes. Let me clean this flow so that you'll see the payment exchange, email queue, SMS queue, shipment queue, stock queue. It is binded. It's over. Next, I will start order service. Yes, order service is also started. Next, I'll start all the other services. Stock service, everything is started. SMS service, is also started. Shipment service, did I start shipment? Order stock, okay, I didn't start shipment. Next, email service. Next, email service. So all the services are started, sir. Workflow, order, stock, SMS, shipment, email. All services are started, sir. And intentionally, I clear the console just to we need to see when I hit a request, what is going to happen. Every console I'm clearing, guys, just like we'll see what is going to happen. Shipment service, email service. Okay. Now let me take Postman. I will only call order service, guys. Nothing else. My triggering point is only order service. 8080 is the port number, and my controller is order processing. 8080 order processing, post to payment. So you see here a post request. Okay, sir. Localhost 8080 order processing, post to payment. I'm hitting this API. This is, I'm creating an event for this. I'm creating an event for this with the order object. In the order object, where order ID is equal to 102, email ID sandhya@gmail.com, one product, mobile number, shipmer, blue dot courier, shipment status shipped, zip code 5,37,000. This is a sample data. Hey, order payment is completed. Please start the post processing. Like send an email to Sandhya, update the inventory to product, send an SMS to this number, and start the shipment. Update the blue dot courier to this particular zip code. That is my post processing logic. Okay. So what I'm doing, sir, I am hitting this particular order processing API with respect to post payment. I'm hitting this. That's it. I create an event for this, and rest of the things will taken care automatically. So let me hit this. You saw a message sent to RabbitMQ successfully. Now, one by one we'll saw, guys, here. First, order service. At order service, guys, it created a connection. 5672 local, it's created a connection, and it is able to connect to RabbitMQ, and connection is established so that it is ready to send the data. So nothing else order service I have. That's good. After that, immediately in the workflow side, there is no nothing. I didn't call anything, right? Workflow service, it's a setup is created. That's fine. Now, once the order services places the data, one by one here, stock service successfully process the stock update for the order ID 101 for the product ID 2. Automatically this API is called, sir. Successfully process the stock update. It updated the stock. Okay. SMS. Successfully sent SMS to the customer for the product, for the mobile number. This is email SMS service is also called automatically. I didn't do anything here. Shipment service. Successfully started shipment service for the order ID 102, customer zip code 5,37,000. It started shipment service also. After that, email service. Successfully sent email to the customer for the product order ID 102, email ID sandhya@gmail.com. So I saw that all 4 microservice, stock service, SMS service, shipment service, email service. All these 4 services are internally, they triggered as long as order service posted the data and all individual microservices are listening to the queue and they processed it. Let me repeat. When I hit in the postman, once payment is completed, I'll hit this API in the postman. Okay. Where as long as I hit the data in the postman, okay, I'm going to trigger that particular call. What happens here? This order service is going to send this particular order object. It is going to send this order object to the queue. The complete order object is sent to the queue, and all the remaining queues, email queue, shipment queue, SMS queue, stock queue, they listen to that queue and they process their own logic. Parallel processing, fire and forget. That's what we call that as a fire and forget. They'll fire it and they forget it. That's it. And the remaining services will be processed. This is the first flow, initial flow. What is that initial flow here? What exactly initial flow here? I'm not writing any code here in order service. In order service, I'm not writing any code. Where it should talk to stock service, it should talk to email service, it should talk to SMS service, it should talk to shipment service. I'm not writing any code over here. Okay. My logic in order service is only placing the data into the queue. My order service logic is placing the data into the queue. That itself is my logic here. Once the data comes into the queue, that's it. All the remaining services listening to the queue will be taken care. So what RabbitMQ helping me here? RabbitMQ is helping me workflow management. I sent a message to this workflow and RabbitMQ will send a message to all the queues, and each and every service listen to that queue and they processed it. From a developer point of view, I only write my business logic code only, right guys? Business logic code only I wrote here. Any configuration code I wrote? Nothing, right? Just like I place the data into the queue and I was able to Rabbit listener. I didn't write a code. Rabbit handler, AMQP template, all this complete infrastructure given by the Rabbit. So first portion of our hands-on, first portion is writing a loosely coupled architecture between microservices, order service, email service, stock service, SMS service, shipment service. We are able to establish a loosely coupled architecture among these microservices, and through event, I can able to communicate. This is the first portion of my exercise. Any question here, guys, as of now?
Just small doubt.
Yeah, please.
Is it possible to resend an email or resend only a mail?
Sir, can you speak bit loud actually? Maybe your headset is not near to your mouth. I'm not able to hear actually.
Hello.
Yeah.
Is it possible only to send an SMS or only to send email? Means I have to resend it in case?
You want to send only to email.
Yeah, for example, if customer has deleted the message or customer has not received my SMS and he asked me
Mhm.
the SMS.
Then that should be a separate workflow. You should create a separate workflow, okay? And you should trigger that. This is only customer has deleted, customer didn't send or whatever, that exceptional scenario, right? So in that case, you need to create a one more workflow where email retry or SMS retry, and you need to do that. Here, this workflow is once a message is sent, once you process that message, it's gone. Maybe in the exception block in email service, right, sir? In email service, you'll write a code, right, sir? Here,
No, my
if
point
at all,
is,
if you get an exception,
can we call this email queue only alone? Is it possible?
that's not possible here, sir. You need to write a separate workflow, or else you need to push a message to the queue again. You need to write a code for that. There is no automatic mechanism. Previously, we have a dead letter queue. In RabbitMQ, we have a DL queue. Dead letter queue is there, where if any error is there here, for example, I have an error here, I'll push that to dead letter queue, and in the background, it will process. Okay, but resubmitting that architecture was, I mean, it's a purely a business issue where customer is not received email or he's having a proper, he's having invalid email. In that case, we need to have a separate workflow where we should have a retry mechanism or whatever it may be, and we should take care. This is a regular business logic where we are going to process with the queue.
Okay. In case if we return the message, will this also trigger the shipment and SMS services as well?
Yes, definitely, right? When you retry this, you need to create a separate workflow, not this workflow. You need to create a separate workflow, sir. In that workflow, you will add only email retry. Your
Okay.
workflow name should be, okay? Your workflow name should be email retry exchange. And you'll only bind email queue, not all the queues. And again, you will send the email to email retry queue, and that will process. Separate
No.
microservice you should.
Sir,
We
then-
can do
Sir, then
we
since-
can do it in this way also, in that microservice which is responsible for sending that email, in that microservices
Yes.
we can retry.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mentioned initially. That's what I mentioned initially. Whenever at this particular logic, when you are not able to send an email, but what Vishwanath point is, I will not know here. May email is asynchronous, right? I don't know whether email is successfully sent or not here. It's asynchronous. Email is asynchronous, right? I will only get a success message after some time, whether email is getting or not, I'll get after some time. For
Yes.
that case, if you're
Yes.
not able to control over here, sir, I don't have a control over here, that time I should take this design. Okay.
In case after order placement, customer has come to me and says, I did not receive a message. Can you resend me the message? My point is, can we only resend SMS or can we only resend email service by directly hitting this controller? Is it possible?
It is not possible, sir. That's what I told. This workflow is set up already. Yes, in the order controller, you need to write a one more, because I didn't, for example, if customer is asking, I didn't get SMS or I didn't get email, I will write a one more endpoint, not the same endpoint. It's a separate, because I only send to this one. Or else you can do one more logic. Sir, you want, I want only a common logic. Maybe in other controllers, I know the status, right? Whether is that SMS is sent successfully or not. I will get the message, I will ignore it, that I need to add that logic also. If you want to use the same workflow, sir, if you want to use the same workflow, okay, in SMS or in shipment, for example, let me go to shipment service, okay, assuming that I want to use the same flow here, I don't want to create a new flow here. What I'll do here, I know the status, right? If the shipment is done, I will ignore this message, I'll send success. That time also I can use the same, and again email will be sent successfully. Anyhow I'll have a tracking table, right? SMS table, shipment table, different tables I need to interact, right? I will resubmit the same, and I will ignore other queues. Once it is processed, I'll ignore. I don't want to process again. I'll have a small if condition here. If this order shipment is completed, ignore the message. That also possible. Got it right?
Okay. Sir, in that case, is it kind of a limitation that we have to create multiple queues? If I want to send only email, I have to have one more workflow for email, only SMS, one more workflow for SMS, email and SMS, one more workflow for both, email, SMS, and shipment, one more SMS for all these three. So this is kind of a limitation that we have to create different workflows for different combinations.
First of all, when you want to achieve a task, okay, you need to write a code. Okay, whenever you want to achieve a task, you need to write a code. Now, for your question, I explained 3 examples, 3 scenarios, and you can choose your own choice. Okay, I feel that it's not a limitation at all. I feel that it's not a limitation at all. What I'm telling here, if you don't want to create a new workflow, still it is possible. I will, all the other services I will ignore. If it is processed not, I will ignore. I'll ignore, I'll not process anything. I will only process remain. For example, sir, customer SMS, customer mobile is switched off. Customer email is not working. Customer has locked the door. 3 things are not working.
Okay.
Not only email. 3 things are not working. I cannot create workflow for each and every service, right? That's
Yes.
again possible, right? What I
Yeah.
will do here, same workflow I can use. In this case, SMS check, I'll check. I'll check, right? SMS. In the previous SMS, did I send successfully or not? It's not successful. I'll resend again. Again, email is sent or not? Again, I'll send again. Shipment is, I'll send again. The same workflow I'll use. The same point when customer is asking, I didn't get anything, I'll retry the same. I'll hit the same again. It will solve my problem, right? You no need to create a different workflow, right? It all depends on your business logic. I cannot say that it's any limitation with the assumptions, whatever thinking. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right.
Sir,
Any other
let's
questions
suppose,
from?
sir, let's suppose updation is stock updation is failed.
Mhm.
Okay, so in that scenario, is there any possibility to roll back the things? Let's suppose, sir, in some scenario we have to roll back. Then
Ansari, I guess I already answered to you. Again, I'll same answer, sir. In microservice
you
architecture,
are just telling that if any services is failed, we have to retry. Let's suppose we after a limited period of time, if we retried and still it is failing, and so some scenario is there when we have to roll back.
by default, rollback is not the case with microservices. Limitation of microservices distributed transaction. There is a clear limitation in the microservice architecture. They clearly mention that it is a limitation. Either you need to implement a rollback with your own code with bounded context where you can achieve that is not achieved for all the contexts here. Now, in this case, I will update my stock service. I have an order table or a stock table or inventory table. I will update it. The percentage of failure is very, very less. Unless I stop for that explicitly that service or the hard disk of the service is getting crashed, except that the service will never go down. Okay. The example you mentioned, I failed in our stock service. What is the code I will write in stock service? I will write an update statement with the stock service. I'll make update statement. The percentage of probability of the stock table update is failed. It's a very, very less probability. And the microservice limitation is we cannot achieve distributed transaction as every service is independent. This is a clear limitation of this architecture. If you want to roll back completely, you should not come to this architecture. You can go with a centralized architecture where you have a central point where you will start a transaction. and make all your calls, and finally you decide where if something is failed, you roll back everything. Where everything is success, you commit some. This architecture clear limitation of we cannot achieve distributed transaction. The only option is the failure is an intermittent failure. Maybe user input problem or system downtime problem that can be corrected with retry. That is the only option we have. Or else in some examples, you have out of 10 microservices, I want to roll back 2 data. I want to only roll back, that is a partial rollback. I will implement some kind of design pattern, saga, choreography, or something like that, which will minimize the problem but not solve the problem. Okay, these are the some of the attempts where they need to correct it. Some of the problems they need to correct it, and that too manual way to write a code. In case of retrial exhausted, in case of retry limit is exhausted, at any point of time, some manual intervention will be there at any flow. Even in Amazon also today, manual workflow will be there. That's why a dedicated customer support team with 2,000 employees, okay, their duty is to perform these manual operations. Yes, 99.2% of orders are success. The Amazon success rate is 99.2%. 0.08% will be failed, and they need a manual correction. That's why there is a separate dedicated support team will be there for that, to correct this data, to execute the endpoint, or to do something. They have a separate work, they have a separate flow which will correct the data. You will call customer care, right? Hey, I didn't get my payment back. I returned the product. I didn't get my payment back. Sometimes you'll get it right. For example, you return the item, sir, and you should get the money back to your account. If that money is not coming, what you will do, sir? You'll wait for 2-3 days, right? And the code is they retried and somehow the money is not coming to you. What you will do here? You'll call customer care, right? And they have a separate API. They will retry they will again send the things, and which manual correction, they'll do that. In any complex flow, any business flow, manual corrections will be there with 0.05 to 0.08%. Amazon, that is. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, in RabbitMQ, once we publish the event to the exchange, then it's responsibility to send
Correct.
that event to all the microservices which are
not microservices. It will send to queues. I mean, internally, our microservice listen to the queue. Okay. The responsibility of a RabbitMQ is, as long as we send a message to workflow, that RabbitMQ, it will send the data to all the queues, not microservices. It will send the data to the queue.
Okay, queues. Okay, so if it is send the event to all the queues, then that event is still exist in the exchange, or it is going to be deleted?
As long as, for example, if I didn't read the message, my Rabbit listener, for example, sir, this is what shipment, right? My shipment service I stopped, sir. Intentionally I stopped. Okay. And I executed this. Okay, shipment queue data will be there as it is till I receive the message. RabbitMQ responsibility is, till no one read the message, it will keep the data forever and ever. There is no expiration. As long as you read the data, now you read the data, then the message will be gone. That is a queue default behavior. If you process the data, it will be gone. If you didn't read the data, Rabbit listener is not, still you have not read the data, right? It will be with the RabbitMQ itself.
Okay. So let's suppose stock service exchange send the data to the stock service, and while processing the data, while processing the event, if if stock service throws exception. So
Yes.
in that case, there is no event in the exchange, and it is a stock service is failing to process that. So in that case, it is what will
Same
happen?
question, man. In the same, right? Why whenever stock service is failed, okay, whenever stock service is failed, what I'll do here, I will keep the data into the, I mean, somehow I need to create a workflow or some other flow to correct the data. Just now I gave an answer, right? If in the workflow something is failed, just now I gave an answer, right? What is the answer I gave? I returned the product, but my money didn't came. I'll get it through a regular workflow. I should get it through regular workflow. I should get it. Okay, but I'm not getting. Some manual intervention will be there, or else the stock, if at all, if any microservice thrown exception, I will create a separate cron job or separate configuration, separate retry mechanism, and I'll add this particular service to the retry, and I'll retry for whatever the configurable times. That's one of the option.
Okay,
Or
so
else,
we have to
correct. Or else
Mhm.
other option is, I will send the message again into the queue. Here only. If I got a problem here, right? I will resend the message to the queue again.
So
Again, it will be processed.
Okay, from the queue we have to read.
Correct. Exactly. That is one of, sir, it's all design points, sir. These are the possible attempts they have made to correct it, where you need to retry, or you need to create a separate workflow, or customer care. They have we have for everything. What happened, right? If this is failed, we'll give a customer care people, right? We'll give these APIs. If stock service is failed, if customer telling that stock is not updated or something is not updated, separately they will try this to correct the data. Some manual intervention should be there if the retry limits are exhausted. In any flow if any flow is there, 99% of the flow will be success. 5% of the flow, this manual interventions will be there in any system compared to Amazon, Google, or anywhere. Recently, AWS subscription. Everyone knows, right?
We
AWS.
actually do the same, sir.
Let me add one thing here.
One second. Please don't mind. I'll give it time. Okay. Please don't mind. Recently, AWS subscription, sir. Okay. Every year it will automatically retry. Every year they will try my previous payment, and my card is not working. The card expiration is over. Okay. Generally, I will save my card to the wallet, right? I mean, whatever wallet, right? So every year they used to try with the same card, and the card expiration is 5 years, right? And 5th year, the card is not working, and expiration is over. My AWS is stopped. Okay. And when I try that, it didn't give, and they didn't give an option for me to change the card. Now payment is failed. They need to give an option to change the card, right? They have not given any option, right? They think that's the flow. The limitation in the flow. I need to call customer care. I told my new payment card details, and they updated that. They have not given me UI where I can update manually. They have, I need to call to customer care, and they need to update the card details. And after that, it continues. So my intention is any mission critical, any successful application will have manual interventions, because it's a purely problem at my end and the design problem. In case of payment is failed, they didn't give one more option to add a new more card. Right? You understood, Ansari, on this point, whatever I mentioned here? Yeah.
Yes.
Now, yeah, go ahead. They were Vishwa, who is that? I don't, they were some 2 people responded. Go ahead now. Sorry.
Actually, the example
We do that
is
retry. We retry for 3 times, and then we'll just put it in DLQ and raise an alert in Grafana, and we'll look at it manually later.
Correct. That's the alternative. Yes. That's what I told, right? That's the only alternative. We'll retry that. We'll raise an alarm, SNMP trap or whatever the trap. and make sure that customer care or everyone gets the email and they will manually act it. Apart from that, no other alternative. Yeah, go ahead.
No, actually, what I'm trying to say is that why should you retry once again from the beginning if some particular service is failed? Because retrying means some other services will be affected, right? Suppose one service is SMS service has failed. If we retry from the beginning, then all other services will be affected, right?
Sir, I told,
my whole point is the example here it is shown that it is for demonstration only. It is not exact actual real-time implementation. And for event-driven architectures, the system architectures are very much complicated. Okay.
so
It is
let me
not.
explain.
It is not like so simple in that example. Like in that example.
Yeah, I'll explain. So I didn't told to retry the same case. Okay. When participant is asked, I told what is the first answer I told? You need to create a separate workflow.
Just
and
one
you
moment.
need to
Just one moment. If we retry once again, the payment services will be affected, right? It will go to the payment gateway. Will try to make
Sir, did you listen
payments
my
again.
answer? Did you listen my answer now? What answer I told? Did you just listen my answer? I didn't told to retry the payment. I didn't told that actually. What is the first of all, that's why you need to listen perfectly from end to end. The first answer I gave.
No,
Wait. 5 minutes.
If you retry once again from the beginning, the payment services.
Sir, I didn't told to retry from the beginning. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. I didn't told from the beginning. Did I told to retry from the beginning? Why are you assuming that I told from beginning? It's purely his assumption. I didn't told to retry from the beginning. Okay. What answer I gave? What assumption I gave? You need to create a separate workflow in case of SMS or email is failed. So the participant he asked the question. I told him to create a separate workflow. Sir, is it not a limitation for everything? We need to create a separate workflow. Do you feel that it's not a limitation? That time I mentioned, if you don't want to create a separate workflow, then you can retry. What you need to do here in all the remaining APIs, you can cross check. Is that process successfully or not? If not, process it. If process, ignore it. I gave an assumption that we don't want to create a separate workflow. For example, if email is not sent successfully, then I'll create only email retry, some kind of a workflow, and I will only send a message to email, not others. Sir, if at all, do you feel it's not a limitation for everything separate a workflow? If you feel like that, I told one more example where customer email is down, customer SMS is down, customer shipment is down. If these 3 or 4 things are there, what I told, retry the same from the beginning, and in the respective microservice, you have a flag whether it's processed successfully or not. And you can ignore. If it is processed, ignore. We should retry the same by ignoring the other microservices. That is, I told as a second alternative. First alternative is you need to create a separate workflow and you can retry the failure, only that failure. That is the answer I give. Okay. Okay. Any other guys?
Sir, can you show the Rabbit dashboard once to see the live events which is going on?
Sure. Message is now the message will not be red because I processed, right?
Yeah, at least while processing. Just
no. What I'll do, I'll show actually. I'll show where I'll stop all the services. Okay. If I stop all the services, right, sir? What all services? I'll stop SMS service. I'll stop shipment. I'll stop all the services. I'll send a message. That time you can see the message in the Rabbit dashboard. Because as immediately I read that, right? That's why I don't have here. If you see queues, email queue, there are no messages here because I read it. Email queue, queued, if any messages are queued, acknowledgement, redelivered, some features are here, and it is binded to payment exchange. I can unbind. Okay. The messages. If you see get messages, queue is empty. But what I'll do is maybe after this over, I will stop all the microservices. I will show this order object, order.json. I'll show the order object. Maybe I'll do right now because you asked a question, right? I'll do right now. What I will do is one service I will stop, sir. I'll stop one service. Can I show that message to that service? Is that fine?
Yes, sir. So we can stop order services, sir. That is a starting point.
No, I'm not stopping order service. I'll stop email service.
Okay.
I'll stop email service.
Okay, sure.
Now email service is stopped. Okay. Now email service is stopped. Now I'll send a message. Who asked this question? Vishwanath, right? You are?
Yes, sir.
103. I mean, just like I want to mention your email. Vishwanath. That's it. Vishwanath@gmail.com. I will only stop the email service, sir. Nothing else I stopped here. Workflow is there, auto service is there, stock service is there, SMS service is there, shipment service is there. Workflow service, I only stopped the email service. Now I'll trigger now. Message sent to RabbitMQ successfully. Now let me go to queues. Now you saw email queue is having one message.
Yes, sir.
I'll show the message. Little bit down because 5 microservices running means it will take all the memory. Now you saw message. My RAM is 16 GB. I just started 5 microservices. You saw this order object payload.
Yes, yes, yes.
Order ID 103, email ID vishwanath@gmail.com, product ID 2. This entire order object I am keeping in the queue. You are able to see that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Now I'll start mine. Now I'll start it. Immediately this item will be picked up. System is damn slow, sir. If 5 services are running, system takes 90% of CPU. Wait for some time, let it start.
Yeah, sir, meanwhile, can I ask something?
Yeah.
can we alter the message in between? For example, for shipment, if we don't want to give customers the personal details to the shipment, I have to give only order detail and
Yeah,
the
you can stop the microservice. That microservice only you can stop and do whatever. It no impact, right? Loosely coupled, right? For example,
at the shipment service microservice itself, can I alter the message at runtime?
runtime we cannot do that, sir. Sir, you are sending. It's a RabbitMQ is a carrier, sir. Whatever you send, it will send. You cannot alter anything here. Not only RabbitMQ, in anywhere you cannot alter. Any of the system, you cannot. First of all, you decided the system, you wrote the code. Okay.
When I said runtime means not after sending the message. For example, order service has sent the message with five details.
I got the
And it
question, sir.
went to
I got the question. Okay. I got the question. I sent order service and customer, I mean, shipment is not received. In the meanwhile, can I alter? That is what your question. I got it. Okay. So the case is not possible. First of all, it's not, I feel that it may be invalid because after powerful and after good analysis, you write the code. Now you got a problem and your analysis is not, maybe something is missing, which is a real-time problem. You need to stop and you need to do it. Okay. Now you saw successfully sent email. Now you saw that. Now this email is sent actually once the service is started. Now this email doesn't have any messages, you see. You saw here?
yes.
Email is successfully processed. It doesn't have any message. Okay. Maybe the next portion I need to complete, but it's not done. Where what I need to do here? I need to explicitly do the change here. What is the change I want? Business flow change. I don't want to call the stock service here. I don't want to call the stock service here. I want to call the stock service only after the shipment is done without stopping the order service. That is my intention. I don't want to stop my order service. Without stopping order service, I want to achieve that. That portion I have not explained here. Okay. Without changing, I will only stop the workflow and I'll change the workflow. I'll start it in the meanwhile. And order service is not impacted. None of the service will be impacted. That is what a loosely coupled event-driven architecture is going to help. Okay. Till now, what I explained here, microservices to microservice communication through a queue. I explained here. And how, why that queue? Through achieve a loosely coupled architecture that I want to focus here. Maybe I'll go tomorrow, sir. Okay. Fine. I guess I shared the code. I shared the RabbitMQ material also. Okay.
Tomorrow, what is the topic we'll discuss?
I'll whatever I mentioned, right? I need to stop this. I need to show that. If I get a time, maybe I'll start the next design pattern. Maybe. Okay. Fine.
Actually, it is not a real-time example of that event-driven architecture. It is just only one simple.
Sir, I have taken whatever the implementation in my real time, sir. In my real time implemented. Okay. If you feel that it is not as per your expectations, okay. Maybe this is I implemented in my real time. Only
Because
I didn't write a code of, okay, what stock service is doing, what email service is doing, what other service. This is the real time scenario. Still you feel that it is not doing that and tell me your expectations. Maybe I'll come with one architecture. Okay. I implemented in my real time.
I have shared one screenshot in that classroom. Please check that one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you guys. We'll meet tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you.